Welcome to today's episode. Let's delve again into the most shocking murders and unsolved mysteries that leave you questioning what really happened. Some people believe in magic, while others don't. You can possibly see 1,000 videos out there putting an end to tricks that we used to think were pure magic and calling them out for the sham they are. But how does one foolproof the scenes in this video?
These are videos humans were never meant to see, part 18.
Okay, so everybody loves magic, but there's a lot of people that believe it's real and there's a lot of people that believe it's not.
But the video I'm about to show you might prove that magic actually exists. This video is absolutely insane and it will 100% blow your mind.
This might seem like just a normal picture, but the backstory is one of the mysteries that still continues to haunt those who know it. If Amy went hiking by herself, why is she missing? And why is there a picture of her running on her phone?
I've got a picture that will give you chills. This photo is of Amy Song from 2017, and the strange part about the picture that you're looking at is that the picture is of Amy. We just don't know who took it. Amy was a college exchange student who was living in Central Florida at the time when she went on a hike by herself. Amy never came back, so her family as well as the school commissioned the police to work on a ground and aerial search while tracing her phone. The phone was eventually recovered. They found it near a swamp, and although Amy's body was never found, that picture was a picture of Amy running through the water. So many questions have continued to surround this case about what really happened to Amy out there and who took the photo of her. But it's chilling to see what very well might have been the last few moments of her life.
How many victims can boast that they have the face of their assailant in an unaware video? Well, the sad side to this is that even though there were pictorial representations of this man, he was never identified.
I want to talk about this photo. Pictured here is middle schooler Jean McCoy at her friend Meredith Wan's house after school. What kind of looks like a very innocent photo of maybe just two girls hanging home alone after school, it actually captured something very sinister in the background. Both Jean and Meredith were attacked in this home by an intruder who they happened to catch on camera. The story, the man was never caught and they were both viciously strangled with only one of them surviving, which is how we got the witness testimony. I combed through police archives to try to find this sketch, and although the sketch was produced, the man was never recognized. It was never helpful. The chances that they were able to catch the culprit on camera just about a moment before he attacked is just unnerving.
Things are never really as they seem, and why this man, who was thought to be a family man, murders them all and runs is still a mystery no one has been able to solve yet.
Xavier Dupont de Ligons, a wealthy, prominent member of his career and community. While French, he was even contacted by the US to make major crime busts. He comfortably sat at the pinnacle of society, is what he led his family to believe. But in fact, he was the CEO of a failed business, was cheating on his wife, had unpaid bills piling up, and his life was falling apart. In April of 2011, he claimed to be contacted by the US to go overseas and take care of business, and would be in witness protection. His entire family was found murdered in their sleep, including the two dogs, executed with a rifle that he inherited. They were covered in plastic bags, and bodies were hid under the house porch. At the same time, Xavier went on the run, staying in a cheap motel. The next day, he wakes up, abandons his car, and is caught on hotel surveillance. That CCTV footage would be the last known sighting of him. Xavier is a prime suspect in his family's murder, with the motive of figuring out he was not successful. It's quite possible Xavier is still alive today, even after such a heinous crime, and attempts by multiple countries to identify him. But sadly his body, or any trace of him, has never been discovered.
How this girl survived death despite the fact that her throat was slashed from one ear to another for 14 hours is as great a mystery as any other.
On August 9th, 1990, 8-year-old Jennifer Schuett was in her mom's bed when she began to kick her. She was asleep and it was an accident, but the good kid she was, when her mom asked her to go to her own bed, she did with no hesitation, falling asleep soon after. The next time Jennifer awoke, she was in the arms of a strange man, with her mouth and nose covered, while he ran down the street. He got her to calm down by telling her he was a police officer, and they would be waiting at the park for her mother to arrive. After about 5 minutes, he took her to a secluded spot in the woods, held her knife to her throat, and asked her if she was scared. He then choked her until she passed out. When she would regain consciousness, he would do it over and over again. While passed out, he assaulted Jennifer's body, then drug her to a field where he left her for dead. Early the next morning, Jennifer's frantic mother couldn't find her anywhere, and ended up calling the police. They searched for her and actually came quite close to her. She had somehow survived the attack, but was confused why she couldn't call for help, until she realized the man slit her throat from ear to ear, making it impossible to scream. She would go in and out of consciousness multiple times. Luckily, and unbeknownst to the man that attacked her, he left her laying on top of an anthill, where the ants would bite her repeatedly, keeping her awake, but also keeping her alive. But she wouldn't be found until 14 hours later. Kids were playing nearby when one ran past her and actually tripped over her motionless body. They told the authorities, who took her to the hospital. When they searched the area, they found her clothes and some adult clothes nearby. She recovered enough to write, but wasn't able to speak, and wrote these notes about what happened to her. Through the notes, and some pointing, they got a lot of information out of her. They got a sketch of the man, and even found out the man's name was Dennis. Sadly, even with all the info they had, they couldn't find the man that attacked Jennifer. She went back to daily life, and felt like she always had to look over her shoulder, scared of what happened to possibly happen again, and the case went cold. 19 years passed, and after the cold case was reignited by a new detective, and some DNA samples, a match was found. Dennis Earl Bradford, someone who had previously assaulted a woman, and kidnapped another. Dennis said he did it randomly, and also said he didn't know why he did it, but he turned into a savage animal while it happened. While awaiting his trial, at 40 years old, Dennis took his life in his prison cell.
August 10th of 2010, which would have been the 20-year anniversary of my attack, instead of being able to read my victim impact statement in a courtroom, I drove to his gravesite, which is in Texas, and sat there on his gravesite and read my victim impact statement.
Is this a coincidence? Why does this card game that was created in the 90s know so much about the future? Some say it is the Illuminati that created the game and it was made to reveal their plans for the world.
Is this card game warning us of the future? The card game was released in the 1990s, and it seemed to predict world events with startling accuracy. The card game included references to events such as 9/11, natural disasters, and even the pandemic. This card game was called the Illuminati New World Order. Many believe that this card game was created by the Illuminati themselves as a way to communicate their plans to the world. Others believe that it was just a coincidence. But with so many events seemingly predicted by this game, it's hard to ignore the eerie similarities. But whether it's fact or fiction, one thing is for sure: the Illuminati and their alleged plans for a new world order remain shrouded in mystery and intrigue. And so do the question.
Sometimes people take horrifying truths to their graves, never to be discovered, while others slip it out only after they know their life is almost over. The latter is the case for this story.
What are some of the craziest things people have confessed to at the end of their lives? In this series, I'm sharing some of the craziest ones I found. And I cover all sorts of spooky and true crime stuff, so follow along. So in 2004, Geraldine Kelly was dying of cancer. Her daughter was there by her side, but this was particularly hard on her daughter, because her father, Geraldine's husband, had passed away in a motor vehicle accident years prior. Or at least that's what Geraldine had told everyone. A few days before Geraldine passed away, she tells her daughter that she lied about how her husband died. He didn't die in an accident. Geraldine had killed him. And not only that, but she was keeping his body in a freezer in a storage unit. So her daughter calls the police right away, and sure enough, he's in an unplugged freezer that was taped shut. Geraldine claimed that she had been a victim of abuse, but she passed away a few days later along with any information she had on this case.
Sometimes we go to sleep unaware of the horrors that lurk behind our doors. Well, this girl finds out that she must have been with something terrifying the night before.
A teenage girl usually stays up late every night. But one night, she blacks out in bed earlier than usual and sleeps until 2 p.m. the next day. When she wakes up, she has absolutely no recollection of what happened to her the night before. And things are strangely out of place. Instead of her cell phone being plugged into its charger, she wakes up sleeping on top of it. After waking up, she heads to the bathroom to take a shower. That's when she really notices that something is not right. When she takes a look in the mirror, she has dried up blood all over her chest and neck. She frantically begins rinsing it off, only to discover small scratches all over her body underneath. And then she sees a bruise on her arm. But it's not just an ordinary bruise. It's in the shape of fingerprints, almost as if somebody was holding her down. This isn't the first time something unexplainable has happened to her, and it wouldn't be the last time either. And the girl in the story is me.
The mysterious angel of death. Watch this video to find out about the angel that is rumored that everyone will eventually see once in their lifetime.
This is a true horrifying story of the moment you will see the angel of death. This is a moment that every human being that ever lived will see. This angel has been mentioned in all the sacred texts, including Sikhism. In Judaism, the name of this angel is Israel. However, in Islam, this angel's name has not been defined, even though many Muslims believe that it is Israel, though it is not the real name. Every religion describes this angel with minor differences, but generally, he is known to do one thing only. Angels are beautiful beings. There are billions of them, or maybe even trillions around us. They are huge, and they are powerful, and they are made from light. However, there are 4 angels that you do not want to meet. Malik, the guardian of hellfire. Munkar and Nakir, the angels that test the faith of the dead in their tombs. And lastly, the angel of death. There is a narration that I'm not 100% sure about, but it says, the angel of death passes by and looks at every human being 5 times a day, waiting for their time to come. And you know these random shivers that you get? It is said to be that this was a moment that the angel of death has looked at you. I am not sure myself, but we can have Mu'min Abu Mecca to confirm if this is true or not. But what I can definitely confirm is this. This is what will happen the moment you see the angel of death. You will go through a sudden moment where time will be frozen. All your surroundings will no longer be your reality. Your brain will start releasing a chemical called DMT. Your eyes will start to unveil the real world. You will see the darkest being ever created approaching you. You will feel unexplainable pain, and you will start to see your soul leave your body. This is a moment billions of people have been through, and you will too. No human being is immortal. One day, in your lifetime, you will meet this angel.
We never know who's lurking outside our window, but then thank God for CCTV and the knowledge this woman uses to find out her stalker. It might have been a different story entirely.
Creepiest home camera or footage PT point to 3.
Which of these stories did you find mysteriously scary? Let us know in the comments section.